Hi folks, hope you're doing well. So, yeah. So the video last night, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, based upon the fact that I started really talking about that and going quite heavy on that point. About giving your life to God and giving your life meant everything. It didn't mean just going forward in a meeting. I was doing videos about that, going quite heavy about that and accountability and about, a chance to start again because of COVID, because this was before COVID and during COVID. And it was God preparing me about saying, you're going to do this, and in the next few years I'm going to show you how. So, things are getting interesting. Well, as I said in the one last night, it is a case. You go back, it was about just over a year ago that God started talking about the trees, and the fact there were two trees, and the trees are still there. There's a tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. And that what happens when you eat from the tree of life, what happens when you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and why is there still death? And that led to Matthew 7, and then once that, the Father said, well, you've heard what would Jesus do, but instead of that, how would Father react? And then that led to the point of, don't react. Which led to the point of never react. You've got to learn never to react at all. In order to be led. When to react and how to react in situations. And it's like, okay. Yeah. So, it's been a journey. And we're getting to the interesting bit. But this interesting bit could take some time. Because obviously, not reacting. And making sure that every last little bit is given to him. Because, I wouldn't necessarily sound dead. I could sound near death. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm dead. As of yet. That every single tiny, teeny bit of control has been given up to God. No, because I'm still trying to control the dogs. When we're out. Especially when they're eating something on the floor. I can get annoyed with them and say, oh, excuse me, I give you food. Packs it up. But because you don't know what they're eating, and the problem is you go down to a park or places like that, and you get people at night going there, and they've got takeaway, and they just chuck the rest of their takeaway out on the floor. The stuff they don't want, and you don't know what's in it. I didn't buy the blinking thing, so I wasn't there with them when they ordered it. But then, of course, the doggies are eating it, because they run way ahead of me, so by the time I get there, they've woofed it mostly up. And, it's a bit... I can get a bit annoyed when they won't leave it, but then I understand why they won't leave it. But I'm trying to think for their health. No, again, excuse me, am I trusting God in this? Yeah. So, I'm not quite at that point of death yet. It's more near death. So, I'm going to just trust him with all of that sort of stuff. Because, again, if I can't trust him with them, how am I really going to trust him with me? Because there's going to be elements of my life that are vulnerable and, that look really bad. So how am I going to trust him with that? Yeah? you've got to let it go or not. And you might as well go all in. If you've gone mostly, then it's those last few tiny little bits to give up, isn't it, really? But that's where I am at the moment. And so, yeah. Then what happens, I don't know. Because, yeah. I've no idea at all. As I said, I mean, I've had conversations with God about renewing because my teeth are a mess. And I will need new teeth. And so I was speaking to him about, well, it looks from scripture that he renewed Abraham and Sarah because, yeah, they weren't able to have children and then they were. So something happened. So, okay, possibly he renewed them. But certainly, if he can bring Lazarus from the dead, then he can renew. And so therefore, okay. That was a conversation. That was in 2021. That was the conversation then. Was about renewing. Yeah. And that was just to put a faith in me. An understanding in me. That your body can be renewed. Because, what was it last week? Understanding that if you start partaking of the tree of life, then every part of death, every molecule of death in you will be wiped out. Yeah, will no longer be in you. Every bit of decay will be sorted. Every bit. So any wrinkles, any grey hairs, any fillings in your teeth, any arthritis or anything like that, gone. So I mean, that the journey to understand that. Because, well, basically in 2021 I was saying to God, okay, so if you can restore, then obviously you can restore every single part of my body to absolute perfection. That was a conversation I was having with him in 2021. Yeah, now my understanding is that when you are at perfection, and that you'll be restored to that. So, okay. So it is absolutely fantastic and fascinating that, yeah, I had conversations with God that were wrong at the time where I was wrong, when my understanding was wrong, but just by a bit. And that understanding led to now, because, you know, it led to faith that helped me to get to where I am now. And yeah, then when you think about the understanding, it wasn't too far apart to what it is now. And yeah, that's pretty incredible. Yeah. So, yeah, it is an absolute certainty that God has led us here. So next step, deal with those last little things, yeah, and trust God for all of that, yeah. Well, it's like walkies. You know, do I pray? Do I give the whole situation to God before I get out the car? No. So I should do that really, as well. Yeah. Right. So you take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and yeah, be a blessing. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.